My name is Susan Henley. I am the media specialist here at Academic Magnet High School. And before we start talking about the actual facility, I want to talk about the philosophy of having a shared space. And from a financial point of view, it's a great idea. However, from a point of view of access for our students and our teachers, it's very difficult for them sometimes to get over here because we are so far away, because we are housed in a separate building from either of those schools. And a simple fix would have been for this building, instead of being long this way, if it had been turned sideways and attached so that there was access from both buildings, it would have made so much more sense and it would have been so much easier to use for our students and our faculty.
Like with her, every day she has to come to visual arts, make sure Mr. Moore knows she's here, go to the costume shop, get her sewing machine, bring it back to the classroom, then start working, and then save about 30 minutes at the end of class to take all of it back, because it's not allowed to stay in the visual arts room, but she's not allowed to work in the costume shop by herself without teacher supervision, and she can't. Right? Right. Yeah. That's right. It's just a lot of back and forth that we shouldn't have to do.
And it's the farthest it could be away from the visual arts.
Yeah. The cafeteria's here, auditorium's there, visual arts is next to the cafeteria, costume shop's next to the auditorium.
Okay.
Yeah.
That teachers are not able to get in the end of the high school building using their school ID. And I feel like while I understand the safety concerns for the campus, that teachers should be able to come in the end of the building, especially if we have a lot of things to carry, if we have to unload things, instead of taking the long way around from where we're asked to park. So anyway, I think that they need to add a pad to the end of the high school building so that people that have a legitimate school ID can get in that way as well.
So yeah, the classrooms are definitely big enough. As someone who is the last class to spend 2 years at the old Magnet, everything is an improvement for us. And so even, the classrooms, I don't know how big they are in comparison to other schools, but obviously for us they're huge and the windows are fantastic. You have a great view of what's going on outside.
So I'm taking you to our lounges that we have in mostly every building, including the media center. We have very comfortable couches. As you can see, this is everybody's chill area. And we also have tables where our books can sit, where we can work and lay down. And we have collages of the graduating classes over the years and their handprints and whatnot. So yes, it's a very comfortable place to just sit down and do your work.
Some of the things I really like about this space are, the theater space, are the amount of room that we have. The stage space is phenomenal. A lot of people don't like the size of the audience. I really like it. It's a really intimate size, which is important because having 500 people in a 2,000-seat venue feels small and it feels like no one's there. But having 500 people in this space, which seats about 580, really feels like a full house. It feels like there's an intimate connection, and there's a connection with your neighbor, and there's a connection with the performer on stage. And I've been in those houses that are just huge caverns 2,000. So I know not everybody agrees with that, but I think it's one of the pluses of this space.
All right, here we are in the classroom, and this is a very large classroom. It's got great space. We use it for different means. Teams have meetings in here. You could have a health class in here. Obviously, we've got the rowing club, rowing team. They store their rowing machines in here. All right, this is the weight room for the athletic area, and has very, very good equipment. A lot of it is, so we have some free weights, we have some cable machines, some free weights over here as well, barbells. It's small. It's small for our needs, for a high school, especially if you're going to have a physical education weight training class. Over 20, you're packed in here like sardines, and it's difficult to monitor and to promote safety with all of the equipment, and then you've got 30 bodies in here.
Some of the negative things are kind of the backstage aspect as far as the building is concerned. My dressing room only can hold 17 people between the 2 dressing rooms, but our smallest productions normally are at least start at 20 and go up regularly to 60 to 100 people. And we have no space anywhere for those students to change clothes and put makeup on. So I think that was an oversight of something that didn't happen. I feel like they either cut it out or didn't look at what we do as a campus and what we do as a school. Even from Academic Magnet side, the talent show that they do, there were 40 performers, and each one of them needed to change clothes and put on makeup, and they didn't have a space to do it. So we have to create spaces and do things, but then that's kind of difficult. Some of the other benefits of the space, the lobby's beautiful. It's a little small, just 500 people in the lobby waiting for a performance before the doors open. It's a little cramped, but it's not the main part of what we do. So I'd rather that we have a really nice theater and a smaller lobby than the inverse.
So these are our regular desk and chairs we sit into every day in a normal classroom. They're very comfortable for us, and they're not like regular desks. As you can see, the chair is separate from the desk, so it makes it very easy to maneuver when we have to work with different students and different classmates in our class.
I actually really like the chairs we
Yes.
have. They're comfortable.
And they're different from other schools, which is really interesting.
They're good for your back, I think. I like the shape of them.
Okay, so these are our desks, our computer desks, and also our chairs. As you can see, we have a lot of room to work when we're on the computers. And we also have different colors, which makes it more of a variety for every classroom. And they're very comfortable, seeing how they have an arch for our backs in the chairs. So yes, they are very comfortable.
And we have these portable desks, and these are good. They are stackable, and they're functional. However, if I'm taking a test, if I'm writing, it's great for a right-hander. However, all of these are designed for right-handers. There are no left-handed desks, so when someone does go to use it with their left hand, it's difficult. So it might be nice to have something that's made for us lefties, because we're in our right minds, you know.
The desks and the chairs are good. I mean, once again, they're bigger than like what I'm used to in public school desks, so it's nice. You have plenty of room to spread out comparatively. And the chairs are a lot nicer than what we're used to, you know, like the standard old like straight back chair that you couldn't sit in for like more than 45 minutes because it would hurt your back. So yeah, so they're much nicer.
So also we have these chairs in our media center where we can sit down and read a magazine and be comfortable and just at home.
My biggest dislike is that all the rooms are the exact same, so there's no kind of like individuality, whereas at the old school we had a lot of that, too much you might say. This classroom, all the classrooms in this school, they all have the same layout for the windows, same layout for the classroom, so it's all pretty much the same. A little variation would be nice.
I like the classrooms.
I like the windows.
Yeah, the windows are nice, but the teachers always put the blinds down, like, because they always need it, because the big window interferes with the smart board, and then it makes the smart board hard to see. And every room's the same. They're not like, I feel like they should be a little bit more personalized for whether or not
Science
like,
and
yeah.
English shouldn't have the same layout.
Right. And then the science has its own like lab next door, but I feel like that should be like one big room instead of two separate ones, because with two separate rooms you need 2 adults to supervise.
This is a athletic training room for the sports programs. A great room, functional space, and the trainer is very pleased with what what she's got made available. Looks to me as if, again, wall space, you know, we could have shelving up there to just incorporate a little bit more functionality and make it a little more useful. But it is a fantastic space and serves its purpose very well.
I like the fact that it's very universal. You can use this space to portray about just any environment. For instance, when we had our solo pieces, we had people that were inside coffee shops and people that were in Africa, and then people that had their plays set in some other non-existent world. So it's important being educated in theater to have such a universal space.
I also want you to notice all the bookshelves here, which are wonderful. This is our nonfiction collection, this entire wall. But I think for future libraries, nonfiction books are quickly going the way of digital resources. And so instead of having shelves here, we probably should have had more comfortable seating or more tables and chairs, because books are disappearing faster even than I thought they would. And from what we have seen with our students, they still enjoy checking out fiction books, and they still like to have books for pleasure reading, but when they are doing research, which is mostly why they use the nonfiction collection, they want to be on the computer, and I don't blame them. I understand that. They can do one-click searches and they're done. So we have way too much shelving here for the nonfiction collection.
Okay, we really like the light system that we have here coming down the stage, and then the automatic lighting boards that y'all put in are really nice. It really helps to program lights in instead of doing the old-fashioned kind of, you know, switch knobby thing that we had to do in the old school. There is one thing in the bathroom: the hand dryers aren't powerful enough to, you know, dry your hands out really well. But they look nice. They're all stainless steel and it looks really nice, but I mean, you just end up wiping your hands on your t-shirt and stuff before you dry your hands off underneath those things.
Okay, there's no armrest, so it makes it easy for us to move around, or when we need to go back, we can just spin around and go back to our desks, and it's very nice.